Hello gamers and welcome back to another video. Today we're doing a deck tech I like to call Death Note Remastered because he kills things and it's Ravnica Remastered getting a reprint. So, let's meet the protagonist. Karlov Yagami. Karlov of the Ghost Council. He's a white and a black spirit advisor. Whenever you gain life, put 2 +1/+1 counters on Karlov. Alright? Then for a white and a black, anytime you want, you can remove 6 +1 counters from him and exile target creature. Literally the Death Note. As long as you can see them and they don't have hexproof and you have enough counters, you can write their name down and then they are removed from the game. This works on anything that you can target that's a creature, which is really awesome and we love to see it. So what's our game plan? We're going to take 6 +1/+1 counters and eat them. Then we're going to gain life, remove threats, outsmart, and win. So you have a lot of psychological pressure. If your opponents even dare to swing towards you, you can just remove your counters, exile their big stuff, and they wouldn't want to do that. So they're going to swing at other people. You kind of have the nuclear option. So it's mutually assured destruction, which is really fun. Eventually, you're going to have so much life gain that you're going to get so many +1 counters that you can just swing Karlov at somebody and just wipe him out with commander damage, which is really fun and really nice. So let's get into the rules of the Death Note. All right, number 1, value. We want to gain life, so here are some of the easiest ways we got in the deck that are low curve, and we love to see it. Soul's Attendant, 1 white. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield, you may gain 1 life. We love to see it. Soul Warden, same thing, the exact same thing, but you can have 2 of them, so we like to see it. Then we have Authority of the Consuls, basically the same thing, except it's an enchantment, so it's harder to remove, can't be killed as easily. Creatures your opponents control enter the battlefield tapped. We love to see it, and because this puts them on the back foot a little bit. And then whenever a opponent gets a creature onto their battlefield, you gain 1 life. So you basically are just going to get a ton of counters before your opponents can really do anything about Karlov. And by the time you can, Karlov's huge, so it's big blocker, big removal threat. We'd love to see it. That's really cool. Then we got rule number 2. We want to count, okay? Going to be some counting and counter shenanigans going on. Okay, just in case they do happen to just destroy all creatures, or like destroy target creature, etc. The Ozolith, for 1 mana, will let you keep your counters, because if Karlov dies, you put all your counters onto the Ozolith, and then at the beginning of combat, you put them back onto Karlov. Or, in another case, you can put them onto Alenda's Hierophant, new card from Lost Caverns of Ixalan. We very much liked them. It's 2 and a white for a flying vampire cleric. Whenever you gain life, put a +1 counter on Alenda's Hierophant. Whoa, that's almost like that's what we're doing. When Alenda dies, you make their power's worth of 1/1 vampire tokens with lifelink. So now you have a bunch more ways to gain incremental life, and then that way you get a more billion counters, which is really cool. So if Karlov dies, you can just put them on the Ozolith, and then put them on Alenda, and then have Alenda die, and then you make a bunch of guys. Really awesome. A lot of shenanigans going on. And notably, the counters from Alenda will go onto the Ozolith when Alenda dies, which is really cool. Then we have Voice of the Blessed. This guy's awesome. 2 white. Whenever you gain life, put a +1 counter on Voice of the Blessed. That's already what we're doing. And then when it has 4 or more, which will happen very quickly, it has Flying and Vigilance. Nice. Not too strong. Pretty good. And then when it has 10 or more, which will happen as long as it's not removed before then, it'll have Indestructible. So now you have this Indestructible at minimum 12/12 that can fly over your opponents, punch them in the face, and then also block their biggest threats, which is really cool. And another like sort of nuclear option to start swinging at people. Rule 3, pay life. You don't want to have a game go on too long because everyone's at like 80 life. And, life gain with no purpose is frivolous, I'd like to say, because you'll always die to commander damage. So, we got the Nuclear Bomb. We got the Aetherflux Reservoir. 4 mana. Whenever you cast a spell, you gain 1 life for each spell you cast this turn. This deck's got a low cost curve, so you're going to be kind of storming off a little bit, gaining life. Every spell you cast gains you a life, which then gets more counters on that guy. So the whole thing kind of spirals out of control, and it's really cool. And then whenever you got more than 50 life, you spend it to remove a player, pretty much. That way you can get rid of your biggest threats to you, people who will wipe your board, people who will... you got the biggest commander, pretty much. If someone's swinging at you with your little Frodo, who's a 1 damage guy, you can let them live longer. But if someone's got the Dragon, they're swinging at you with a 10 power, you want to remove them from the game as quick as possible. Then we got Bolas' Citadel. This lets you cast spells for free by paying its mana. So if you got both of them, you can just start, like, your spells are so cheap that they gain you more life than they cost, to a certain extent. And then it's got tap. You can sack 10 non-land permanents, and then each opponent loses 10 life. So you got your Lenda that exploded. Now you can sack all those vampires after you attack and do even more damage, which is really fun. Then we got this guy, Mr. Gloom Summoner. He's 5 mana. He's a bit expensive. He's got lifelink though, and at the beginning of your end step, if you gain life, you can pay the amount of life you gained to make that big, however, life. So if you get 10 life, you can pay 10 life and make a 10/10. So this makes the game speed up a little bit because we're gonna have a lot of life gain on big turns, and then you can make a big demon that's flying. So that way you can start swinging in on people who can't fly, and it's really cool. And he's not too bad, not too bad. Obviously not as priority as Aether Flux or Bolus' Citadel, but still, more value. More value is always good. Rule number 4, diplomacy. You've got the Death Note, so you got to control who lives, who dies, who tells your story, okay? We got Hopeful Initiate for 1 white mana. Training, so whenever it attacks with a creature with greater power, you put a +1 counter on it. Okay, mid, okay? But most importantly, for 2 and a white, now Karlov can destroy anything. So you can exile creatures and then destroy artifacts and enchantments. So basically you have full reign over anything going on. They have to ask you if they're allowed to play that creature, or if they're allowed to keep having their thing. Because you can just, at instantaneous speed, for gaining 1 life, pretty much, and 3 mana, you can destroy anything. So you'd be like, bang, boom, bang, bang, bang. So I won't destroy your thing if you attack them. I have no reason to destroy your stuff. Don't make me, kind of thing. Very fun. We have Mangar the Diplomat. It's a white deck. He's life gain. We'd love to see it. He's got lifelink, and then if someone attacks you, God forbid, you get to draw a card, and then you can just exile them. You know what I mean, to really show them who's boss. And then when they cast their second spell, each turn draw a card. So you have more card draw, which is what you like to see in white. There's a little diplomacy. Don't attack me, but if you do, I'm gonna draw a card and I'm gonna exile your guys. So, feel bad about that. Then we got Angel of Destiny for 5 mana, 3 and 2 white. This is your ultimate diplomatic piece, okay? Because you're going to have so much life, but whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you and that player each gain that much life. So they're like, oh, you're not even really doing damage to me, but your Karlov's getting bigger. And when you have 15 more life than your starting total, each player, Angel of Destiny, attack this turn, loses the game. So the way you win with this is even if they destroy your Angel of Destiny, you wouldn't want them to destroy it, but you swing it with Angel of Destiny, you can do no damage, or get blocked or whatever, but they'll lose the game, which is really cool. Love to see it. So you just exile whoever's going to kill the, you know what I mean. Okay, win cons. How this deck going to win? All right, let's kind of recap it. We got Karlov with his Death Note, okay? We've got your Soul's Attendant gaining you passive life. We've got your Angel of Destiny that will win you the game when you start swinging at people, okay? But that means nothing when you've got an Dragon. That's a 10/10 coming right at you. Oh, wait, and it's gone. Yep, I paid 2 mana and it's gone. I took off 6 counters, it's gone. Okay. No, but what about my Avacyn? Your opponent's got an Avacyn going out. Big, scary Avacyn. Other permanents are indestructible. That's scary. That is scary. Very scary. Commander. And it's gone. 2 mana and it's gone. Yep, back to the command zone. Cast it again. I dare you. I pay your commander tax, pretty much. I pay 2 and it's gone, which is really fun. And then if you're like, how do I remove my opponents? Well, we've got the nuclear bomb option, okay? So we gain life, we remove commanders, remove all the scary threats, we gain a bunch of life, and then we remove players, and then we win the game. We pretty much just write their names down, and then they die, which is super fun. And, Merry Christmas, everybody. You know what I mean? Merry Christmas. This is a great Christmas deck. Yeah. So if you like this deck, feel free to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I would appreciate it. But I hope everyone has had a lovely holiday season, and we'll see you next time. Farewell.